Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Diddy. How you doing? Now, I'm gonna give you some piping hot tea, darling. And I was minding my own business, and these things just popped up on my feed. And what I'm gonna talk about is a little bit of Diddy, and a little bit of Portia, and then a little bit of LAMH, the gift that keeps giving. And let's see, was a former cast member, alleged former cast member, vindicated? Okay, so what it says is the headline reads, Porsha Williams wins major victory. In the latest ruling in the case, the court granted Porsha Williams her request to quash, which I don't know what that means. What is a quash? Squash with just a Q? I hadn't looked up the word, so let's go right on. Gubadia's subpoena and request for a videotaped deposition of her employer, True Entertainment, along with, I guess that's quote, that was in quotes, with a motion for a protective order. A judge also denied Gubadia's emergency motions regarding the discovery and awarded Williams her attorney's fees and expenses of litigation. The filing also pertains to their prenuptial agreement. Let's get to the good part, honey. Let's get to the good part. According to the docs, Gubadia argues that the wife desired to return to reality television or employment in the future constitutes a non-disclosure of material and fact of misrepresentation that renders the prenuptial agreement void. Addressing Gubadia's claims, the judge says, no way, Jose, we're going to keep that prenuptial agreement in place, and they found no merit to dismiss it and no merit to negotiate the prenuptial agreement. And the husband, nevertheless, did not sign the prenuptial agreement under duress. After starring in Bravo's The Real Housewives of Atlanta from season 5 to season 13, Williams left in 2021 after dating Gubadia for 4 months. We already know all that. They announced their engagement in May of 2021. Earlier this year, she announced that she would be divorcing Simon Gubadia in the upcoming season 16. In the couple's prenuptial agreement, it states central purpose is to avoid contested and expensive litigation, which they're gonna, abide by, including costly and potentially intrusive discovery process. Now, what discovery is. That's collecting evidence, right? So basically what that's saying is we're not going to dig into anybody's, that's on either side, information too deeply, because they are indeed public figures. I wouldn't say Simon is really a public figure, but technically he is, and if dissolution occurs, that means dissolution of marriage, of course. The ruling reads that the court finds it undisputed by both parties that the prenuptial agreement at issue in this case was negotiated by parties with very competent lawyers over a year and a length of time, and included the exchange of financial disclosures such as issues of fraud, mistaken misrepresentation, and duress. Like I said earlier in that statement, there was no duress involved when they signed the prenuptial agreement. It was mutual. Lawyers were present. So clearly in multiple revisions of the prenuptial agreement. So what essentially happened is that the crux of the husband's argument is explicitly contained in the four corners of the parties' prenuptial agreement and was not continued. So what it's saying is that this is a major victory for the Real Housewives of Atlanta star, because it's looking like She's getting a step closer to getting what she wants out of the prenuptial agreement. And the judge has agreed with her attorneys, which I thought the prenuptial agreement, just my opinion, was ironclad. I don't know what in the holy hell Simon was trying to do. I mean, that's, yeah, let me give Portia some credit because I never do. Okay. Let me give her some credit by, first of all, getting a prenuptial agreement. Second of all, doing what she had to do to make sure that all the stipulations and guidelines were abided by in that prenuptial agreement. Even though I did previously state that to me, she was squatting in the house. I would have gotten out of the house. I mean, especially if I had my own residence. But that would have been the only thing. That prenuptial agreement on other sides of it, like this judge says, I agree with, except for, staying in the home. Let him have a home. I mean, you don't want anything else to do with him. He don't want anything else to do with you, I guess. So just go ahead, abide by the prenuptial agreement and split amicably. The prenuptial agreement, that's what it was set for. It clearly stated in the prenuptial agreement, nobody wanted to have lengthy litigation. And by you, Simon Goodbody, I'm speaking directly to you, by you going back to court trying to reverse some guidelines in the prenuptial agreement, you are essentially saying that you don't agree with the prenuptial agreement. And by you not agreeing with them, that's not abiding by the prenup. By saying, hey, I need to go back to court to make some provisions. And that's creating a longer process. Clean break, y'all. Clean break. Say goodbye. Simon goodbye, yada, 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 yada. And Portia, goodbye, yada, yada, say goodbye. Because you still Portia, goodbye, yada, yada to me. Portia, but bye, Portia Will, but Portia Goodbye is in the building. Okay. So, see, you was in the building then. And then 2 weeks later, you was divorced. Trying to get one. Filing, that is. Now, in regards to the fraud situation, I said that I believe that she should actually go. I've been saying this. I really believe that she should do this. I think that she should go ahead and just do a annulment. But I think in annulments you can't get anything. I think it's like a clean break and you can't get anything out the deal. Hey, legal team, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Move right along. And more DDT, the other person who is the gift that keeps on giving. He is being sued by a former member of DANNITY KANE and Diddy Dirty Money, Miss Dawn Rashad. And let me just say before I start, I believe every word of her alleged lawsuit. And another Diddy incident that occurred, which is kind of another mess that he's gotten himself into. Now, one thing that Diddy needs to do, he needs to start taking these civil lawsuits very seriously, because he had a default judgment against him in the amount of $100 million. Okay? So, just not showing up in court or, settling these things out of court, it may be the best for him, because Dawn is indeed alleging that Diddy also mistreated her. She's saying that he did some SA with her, which is sexual assault. And there was violence witnessed by her other Diddy Dirty Money person, Kalina. Now, Kalina, let me just say, she has come out and denied what Dawn is saying. She's saying that she didn't experience these things that Dawn is indeed reporting. Now, it is not up to the court of public opinion to say that these things did not happen, but it just seems to me that Diddy didn't really have any shame in, you know, doing his violence against women. I'm just saying. It did not appear that way to me. And with things that are constantly coming out against him, what is there to gain? I'm not talking about outside of money. I'm talking about what could Dawn gain by lying on him at this point. Because at this point, what is seeming is that these people have a similar story. And a way that you can find somebody innocent or guilty is if they have a similar story. I mean, these stories gel with the previous lawsuit made by Cassie. Well, even if Cassie was the person who opened up a can of worms, technically, I think that it was Kim. I think that Cassie got her courage from Kim, because allegedly Kim was indeed fighting him back, but at the same time, she just did not have the strength to go through this, whether she perished at his hand allegedly or whether she perished naturally. She did indeed perish before she was able to get her story out. Now, Dawn is saying that he told her that when you go up against me, I'm that type of juggernaut. When you go up against me, I make people disappear. So let's go back here. Let's go back to the people that have possibly disappeared under his watch, or have not just disappeared, but, been terminated from the earth. Okay? So it's a long list. Go back and look at my video about Diddy and another piping hot tea, and just go back and look at my playlist about all of the people in his circle that have mysteriously passed away. A lot of them had the same pneumonia symptoms. So my thing is, I thought that Dawn was one of his pants. I never would have thought that Dawn would come out and speak against him, because if you watch the Making the Band 3, she was one of those ones who stayed silent, like when he fussed with the girls or he, verbally attacked them. And just for me, in my opinion, I always was uncomfortable with his tactics. I thought, though, in my mind at that time, I thought that, maybe it was a method to his madness. But I've always thought that, this just seems kind of abusive, if you will. But she's saying that she was one of his victims, and that she witnessed him throw hot eggs on Cassie. Guys. Just tell me, what do you think about this? Do you think that Diddy is capable of doing these things? I personally do. And just by his actions, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is TV. Okay, this is for TV. And that was another thing I thought. I said, maybe this is just for TV. But Aubrey has always been anti-Diddy. Now, the thing that separates Aubrey from Dawn is, I do believe that her and Dawn would have some contention. And Dawn was always the one who, no, let's just take it. She was always the one who fell back. D Woods, she spoke up as well. And D Woods, had to make a break from him. And Dawn couldn't speak contractually against him. Now, I guess she's out of her contract. She says that he did so many things to her. One in particular, he locked her in one of his Bentleys. He used to tell her that she had a big nose and she was too skinny. And as you can see, Dawn looks nothing like Dawn. I didn't know who she was. When the lawsuit first came out, I thought it was a case of we all look alike syndrome. Because I thought it was D Woods, because she had a similar haircut as D Woods in the picture that I saw, when it was saying that she was coming out and suing Diddy. And I was like, D Woods? Then they said, no, this is Don Richard. I said, do they have this picture messed up? Because I just know Dawn is not suing his ass, because Dawn was like silent. She was like a victim suffering in silence, in my opinion. Okay. Now, just remember, everything is alleged in my opinion. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You'll be notified when I upload a video. Come on in. Come on in. Now, moving right along to the next story. And, like I said, LMAH and... Am I saying that right? Did I say it again? I always put the M in front. LAMH. Did I say it right? Maybe I did. But just remember, these two stories that I'm giving you today are always the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, Diddy has 30 some odd years of T-iris behavior behind him. So, of course, we're going to continue to know what's going on with this. And let me just say this before I get into the story of Stormi versus Melody. I just want you all to know that I never wanted this to be Stormi. In my last video, it says, I think it said traitors is the title to the video on the thumbnail. But I never wanted to be Stormi. I'll tell you why. I've always said that Stormi is my homegirl. I'm not the one, and I even said it in the video, I'm not the one that's trying to get this lady's products taken off the shelf and all this foolishness, because I enjoy using Melody's products, which I started using her products after Stormi, but I enjoy using both their products. Both of them, to me, are good quality products. However, a couple of days ago, Melody came out and said that somebody had been caught her son's phone. She had reported that someone had been coming out using her son's phone, and it was Arian. So what has come to our attention as content creators is that there was actually someone else potentially that could have been contacting Ariane from a 662 number. Now, it is also possible that, Stormi had two phones. Okay? I'll just say this. Okay, so now allegedly the mystery is solved. Jerry Taylor has come forward. She said that it was many, many times that she tried to reach out to Melody to tell her to stop with the accusations against Stormi, because it was indeed her. And it's two things that's possible here. And I'm not going to, take away from what this young lady is saying. I do believe that it's possible that she could have contacted Mel. I believe it's possible that Coleslaw, formed a relationship with someone she didn't know. She does it often. Okay, because she's not too bright. But I'm also bright enough to retract anything that I have may have said against Stormi, because as far as this situation goes, now I don't take back for 1 second that she took advantage of Mel, and it's hard to trust someone when that person you brought on the show as a friend to you has never done anything that was loyal to you, except for that one incident with Destiny, and then everything going forward, it was mess. So I can see Melody's point on, like, just standing there trying to make up with Destiny. But being that I am a mass communications major, a real mass communications major, I know the importance of retracting statements and any false information that I may have put out against my homie, which is true to my homie. I'm also from Mississippi. That lingo that Jerry Taylor was talking about, I am not familiar with it. I'm not. I do the AF, but I thought everybody did that, not just in the South, but everywhere. And that whole my mouth is on the floor. I mean, that's just a general statement, like when you're surprised. So, um, but I did, take into consideration what Melody said, and it is quite possible because we all have witnessed Stormy do this. It's quite possible that she may have, through this Jerry Taylor person, a couple of dollars, and she did her interview with Anthony Loftus of all people. Now, I always say this in these situations, especially when you're trying to debunk something. She probably should have gone to a more, I would say, a more lenient or a less biased content creator. Scotty's, and he's from Mississippi as well. So I probably would have went with Scotty because he is one of those persons that doesn't lean one way or the other. So it wouldn't have made it seem like that Anthony and this young lady was paid, because for the simple fact that Stormy often sends Anthony Locke these huge super chats. So of course her followers and me, I have some suspicions that it may have been a thing where she was paid to do this, allegedly. But for now, she is saying that she is Jerry Taylor. She tried to contact Mel to let her know that it was her and not Stormy still that was, texting and calling Ariana. So right now at this point, I'm going to go with her word. I'll come back to you if some more developing details come out, because that's what I do. And with that, I'm going to close. I'm going to chuck them up. Deuces. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button and you will be notified when I upload a video.